Tuesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where I hope you enjoyed that incredible version of our theme music today, which was sent to us actually this morning by Robert and girlfriend Elspeth. And it's sort of themed on Halloween a little bit. And let me get this right, it's pipe organ, harpsichord and full choir. And I really like it, but the reason I really like it, well, that's not the reason I'm sharing it with you today. I'm sharing it because I've got some really, really fantastic news, which is that Robert and Elspeth really, gave birth to twins today. So Lachlan and Charlotte, welcome to the world. And I know Robert and Elspeth have been watching the channel since 2019. I think trying for a baby for a lot of that time. And well, I can only imagine the joy that you're both feeling today. Many, many congratulations from the two of us, and thank you very much for sending me the music. Actually, why don't I do? I'll do both birthdays. I've got another birthday to do. Well, Lachlan and Charlotte's birthday obviously is a real birthday, but Erin, it's your birthday today as well. And I know this because your husband Ryan wrote to us and told us that you're directing your first short film in just a few days' time. So best of luck with that. And I understand that in the director's chair you will be wearing a Cracking the Cryptic hat. Well, I mean, there'll be no doubt on that set who the boss is. So Erin, many happy returns. I hope you have a brilliant day, and I know you've got a 2-year-old daughter, Nora, so maybe she'll help you with the chocolate cake that I'm sure is on the menu. Anyway, that's all by the by. You maybe, if you're new to Cracking the Cryptic, or you've just clicked on this video, you'll be wondering what I'm talking about and why is there a Sudoku on the screen. Well, that is because that is what we do on the channel. We try and solve very difficult and normally extremely interesting variant Sudoku puzzles, and this one is called Eureka. And it's by Michael Lefkowitz, sometimes known in the Sudoku community as Juggler, and surely one of the most incredibly inventive minds that exists anywhere. And this one has been recommended to us a lot. Maverick's about to fly over, so apologise. It's all go at the start of this video. We're about to get some aeroplane noise. And this seems to be something to do with finding gold. You can see we've got gold in the grid. Seams of gold. I'm not sure whether we're meant to find the gold or avoid the gold, but I'll read the rules properly in a moment or two's time and we'll understand more. Anything else to mention? Yes, 2 big things to mention, actually. Mark and I are streaming tonight, very shortly, hopefully, if this video ever becomes a video. So this video will go live at 8:30 UK time, and at 10 o'clock UK time, we're streaming a game called Tametsi, which is, I think it's like a variant of hex cells. Oh, that's much too big. So does anyone else get this? Sometimes when your computer wakes up, all the windows have changed size. Why have they done that? I don't know. But anyway, that's what happened to me today. Anyway, look at this. It looks very colourful, and we'd love to have your company. So please do join us, 10 o'clock UK time. I'll try and remember to put a link on the screen. And now the other thing I wanted to mention is that over on Patreon, where we have our monthly competition running, runs until the 20th, so do have a go at that. That's Sudoku Hunt. But we've also just released the Duality Hunt, which the Skunkworks created for us about a year ago. So we've released that as a free pack. It was used as a competition back in the day. And the reason we're releasing it as a free pack is as a teaser, really, for what we have coming up at the start of November, which is Duality 2, Deja Vu. So the Skunkworks have returned to the drawing board and come up with a whole load of really fantastic puzzles. And the idea of the reason these puzzles are called Duality is they take popular Sudoku lines and they make them do double duty. So you might get a region sum line that's also a whisper or something like that. These puzzles are of the highest quality and there's lots of them. So we have that coming up for you on the 1st of November. And to sort of tease it, if you've never seen this sort of thing before, just check out the quality of the first Duality pack. which is over there on Patreon completely for free at the moment. And it might entice some of you to join what we think is the best puzzle club on this planet. Now, anything else I needed to mention? I've done birthdays. I don't think so. Why don't we get on with some solving? Let's have a look at Eureka and see what Michael Lefkowitz has in store for us today. The rules are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so we're going to have to put the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Then it says cave. Shade some additional cells grey, brackets walls, and leave some unshaded, brackets cave. The cave is one orthogonally connected group, and walls form orthogonally connected groups that touch an edge of the grid. Right, so there's going to be a great big area of cave in the grid. Oh, actually, I was about to make a mistake then. Let's say that was cave. And then there's going to be walls. But one of the requirements about walls is that they all connect to the edge of the grid somewhere. So I was about to do that. That would have been definitely wrong, because this area of wall wouldn't be orthogonally connected to the edge of the grid. So something like that would be perfectly possible, I think. Now, is there... No, I was wondering if there was going to be a 2x2 rule. There's no 2x2 rule, so we can have great big lumps of wall and gold and cave in this puzzle. That seems to be all fine. So what else? We've got whisper loop. Draw a 1 cell wide loop that moves orthogonally. Moving orthogonally just means it moves from a cell and crosses an edge to get to the next cell. It doesn't move diagonally like this. So draw a 1 cell wide loop that moves orthogonally, entering every cave cell. Oh, well, that's a massive restriction. Entering every cave cell and no wall cells. Each digit on the loop in row n differs from its neighbours on the loop by at least n. Okay, so in row 5, let's go to the drawing tool. If you don't know, by the way, in our software how to draw lines, just click on the settings button, which is this cog icon on the side, and enable your pen tool. That's the way to have this option. I always have everything enabled, so I can always use my pen tool. So let me just think about this. So what we're saying is, if these squares are in the cave, then so it's like a whisper. This is like a whispers constraint in this row, because this digit, if that was a 1, say, this has to be at least 5 different from its neighbour. That's okay. So that's actually quite a weird way of thinking about it. So the whispers constraint is going to get more and more stringent as we move down the rows of the grid. I can see that. That's weird. But the other thing I was thinking, I hope this doesn't count as solving, but just to explain what I understood by the rules, is that could never be the cave, because this square couldn't be in a loop, could it? It would be sort of a cul-de-sac. Anyway, I hope that doesn't count as solving. Forgive me if it does. I know people don't like me to do that while I read the instructions. Right, the next rule is about gold. Gold is found in wall cells with digits larger than their row number. Right, what does that mean for that then? Gold is found in wall cells with digits. So this is in row 6. So this is a 7, 8, or a 9, I think. All possible gold has been given. So in this row, all possible gold has been given. Yeah, okay, so what I can see what that means. Again, I hope I'm not solving by saying what I think that means, but I think that means if there was a wall cell in this row, let's make that a wall cell, this couldn't be a high number, because say that was a 9, then it ought to be gold, I think. Gold is found in all wall cells with digits larger than their row number, and all possible gold has been given. Well, that has not been given as a gold cell. So I think that's what that means. And then crop key, digits separated by a white dot have adjacent values. Oh, I don't like adjacent values. I might change that before we release the puzzle. I think I prefer consecutive values. So if this square was a 1, then this would be a 2 and this would be a 3. If this square was a 3, yeah, if that's a 3, this could be 4, 5, or 3, 2, 1. Dusty bin. Ted Rogers makes an appearance on Cracking the Cryptic. Didn't think that was going to happen today. Anyway, do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play Let's Get Cracking. Right, so I say let's get cracking. I don't think I've fully I don't think the osmosis of reading the rules has quite permeated into my brain yet. So we've got to draw. Yeah, okay, so as I was reading the instructions, my first thought was that the whisper constraint gets mad the further down the grid you go. Because, yeah, I don't think the loop can go into row 9 at all, if I understand this rule correctly. Because if the loop goes into row 9, let's just draw that. Let's say it did that. Then these two digits, whatever they are, have to be at least 9 different from each other. Well, that's impossible. That's absolutely impossible. Because imagine one of them was a 1, then the other digit would have to be a 10, and 10 is not a Sudoku digit. So there is no loop at all in row 9. Now what that means, does that mean it's all wall or it's all cave? No, it's not cave, because the cave is the loop. So it's all wall. It's all wall and none of it is gold. Does that make sense? Yes, actually that does make sense. It does make sense, because in row 9, I can't put a number bigger than 9 in row 9, and that's what creates gold, is if you put digits in a row that are wall that are higher than their row number. Goodness me. Okay, I'm getting there slowly, sorry. So now you could just about have a little bit of loop in row 8, but only in one specific instance. You could only put loop in row 8 if the digits on the loop were exactly 9 and 1, because they are the only two Sudoku digits that are 8 apart, and that is the requirement for any loop segment that we put into row 8. And if we... But do we have to? I think we might have to have loop in this row because there's no gold. Hang on. If there is... Okay, yeah. Okay, so the corollary of this is, imagine there is no loop at all in row 8. Then all of this is wall, but there is a 9 somewhere in row 8, and the 9 should be gold and isn't. So that's wrong. And if it's wrong, that means there is exactly a 2-cell strand of loop in row 8. And why do I know it's exactly a 2-cell strand? Because we can't have any more digits. I couldn't do this, could I? Or do this and then, or do that and that, and have two sort of staples poking down. Because we know that the only way I can construct a difference of 8 is with 1 and 9. And if I have 1 and 9, what would the next digit be? I mean, if I put 2 into here, I'd have to accompany it with a digit that's 8 away from 2, and there are none. So I think, I don't quite know how I'm going to pencil mark this, but somewhere in this row there is a staple going down into the row that consists of a 1-9 pair. Right, but I can do better than that, actually. I can do better than that, because another thing I noticed from the rules... Oh, so hang on. Hang on. This is going to cause a... No, it's... No, I don't quite What I want to say... Let me check the wording of the rules here. Each digit on the loop in row n, so this is row 8, differs from its neighbours on the loop by at least 8. Yeah, so the staple that goes in... The staple... Let's just look at these two. These actually, this is not the staple we're looking for. And the reason that this is not the staple we're looking for is I'm going to actually show you by putting some numbers in here. Let's just say it's 1 and 9. But the point is that the 9 in row 8 has to actually connect to a 1 in row 8, but it also has to connect to a 1 above it when it moves out of row 8, because the rule says that each digit on the loop in row 8, that's this, so this is this 9 here, differs from its neighbours on the loop. It doesn't say in the same row, it says any neighbour on the loop that is a neighbour of this has to be 8 apart from it. So the 9 that lives in the staple has 2 1s attached to it, and therefore it must cross a boundary. It can't live within one box, can it? It's going to have to... So it's in one of 2 positions. It's either here... Oops. It's either there or it's there. But the... And it's here. I love this, actually. It's very, very peculiar. But this is absolutely lovely, because the corollary of everything I've said so far also applies to the 1, doesn't it? So the 1 on the staple has to be next to a 9 in row 8, but it also has to be next to a 9 in row 7, because it must be 8 different from anything that's adjacent to it on the loop. Now, why is that interesting to me? Well, that means that the nature of the staple we're constructing has 1 and 9 on it, and it's crossing there, or it's crossing here. Now, it's not crossing here, because if this is a little congregation of 1s and 9s, then where are 1 and 9 going by Sudoku in row 9 of the grid? And the answer to that is on these little white dots down here. But these are consecutive digits, and 1 and 9 within a digit are not, you know, if this is 1, that's 2, and that's 3. It isn't 9. There is no way you can put 1 and 9 in this sequence. So this is not the this is not the staple. This is the staple. Now, what I don't know is how the staple works in terms of... I say that. I don't think I know. Let's think. So one of these is 9, one of these is 1, and then the opposite will be true. If this is 9, we get double 1'd. If this is 1, we get double 9'd. And then, well, okay, but this is still good. And I'm going to take advantage of it and create walls here. So this is my loop. And the loop goes up here. And then in this row, how does it work? Because in this row, I've still got to deal with the digit 8, which is on the loop, because there's no gold in this row. So the digit 8 is on the loop in row 7 and must... Oh. So that feels very difficult, actually. If that... Have I made a mistake here? don't know. I'm just struggling a bit because the digit 8 in this row has to be on the loop. But so far as I can see, it can only be next to a 1 because it must be a digit that's 7 different from it, and there is only one because when we get here, so I suppose it's okay, isn't it? Because the 9, yeah, okay, so the 9 here could be next to a 2 actually in this row, but the 8 must be next to a 1. It must be. Oh, but it doesn't have. Yeah, so the 8 can't live over here. Because if it did something like that, and we said this was an 8, then there would have to be a 1 next to it, but the 1 is over here. And the 8 can't live, you know, what you can't do is sort of do this. That's not allowed. We have to move orthogonally. So wherever the 8 lives in row 7, it has to avail itself of the 1 that is in one of these squares. Now this might actually tell us the order, because I feel like it's very difficult for the 8 to be here. Now I might be wrong, but if this is 8 on the loop, then obviously this is the 1. But what's that? That's got no possible value because the 1's gone. So actually it's this little domino here that's preventing a movement up, which is causing the 8 in this row to be exactly here next to a 1. That puts this configuration into play. Let's put that there. Now we know we can't go here because this would have no conceivable value that would be 7 different from it at least. So we then go up, and this, well, now this square has to be a 1. Because this digit is meant to be 7 different from 8. And it's weird. So normally in German Whispers time, 4s and 6s are the monogamous digits, because they can own, on German Whispers, digits have to be at least 5 apart. So 4s and 6s can only partner up with 9s and 1s respectively. But here, it keeps changing. So this is all green. Now, okay, by the same token, that it is possible that the 9 could go next to a 2 in this row, but it actually can't, because if this was the 2, then the next digit would need to be 7 different from 2 and would need to be a 9, and we'd get 2 9s. So in fact, the loop then goes there. Now what that means is that this digit is a 2, because it must be 7 different and it can't be a 1. So therefore, I've got no clue what this means, but it's very exciting. And there's no more possibility for anything else to enter row 7. But now it's going to get really complicated. I can already feel it's getting complicated, because not only do we have grey in row 6, we've got golden grey. So the exact definition of gold is that it's a wall cell that is larger than its row. So this is row 6. So this is 7, 8, or 9. So that means, well, the loop can't go there because it couldn't get out. Sorry, I'm just going to take advantage of small wins if we can see them. Same is true here. Actually, maybe I should label these up as well. They have to be bigger than 5, don't they? Now, how does this work then? So in this row, this is row 6. So in theory, 7s, 8s and 9s would be gold if they were wall, but only one of them is gold. So 2 of the digits, 7, 8 and 9, are whatchamacallit, looped. Now 7 is in, wow, where do I, Where do I put 7 in this row? Yeah, what I'm thinking of is, imagine 7 was a looped cell in row 6. Then 7 would need to be 6 different from any neighbour on the line. And you may say, well, that's fine, Simon, you could put 7 there. Well, I could, but then where's the loop going? It's not closing, it's going to go up there. And these would both have to be 1s. Because if this is 7, it needs to be 6 different. It's only got what, it's monogamous with 1, so these would both be 1s. That doesn't work. And if I put 7 over here, that in any of these squares, as the loop turns, it will be next to a 1, which it can't be. So I think that has to be the 7. And now I have to deal with 8 and 9 somehow. See, 8. What's 8 going to be next to? 9 is different, because 9 could be next to 3 in this row. But 8 must be next to 1 or 2 in its row. And therefore 8 can only go here, I think. I mean, if 8 was in any of these squares, as it turned, it would need a digit that's at least 6 different. So it needs a 1 or a 2, which it can't have. So this is 8. I wonder which way around that goes. I should know this, shouldn't I? I should be able to see. Well, no, what I was about to say is nonsense, so don't say nonsense, Simon. But that means 9 is in one of those 3 squares. And so is 3 on the loop over here. And then it can't be all 3 of them on the loop, can it? Because if it was all 3 of them, we'd have a 3 and a 9 next to each other, and then the next digit would be impossible, because it would need to be 6 different from 3 or 9, and nothing is available. So there is a staple. So this is a staple here. It either goes, whoopsie, it either goes that way, or it goes that way. But that means this digit is 3 or 9, definitely. Okay. And do we know then which side? Because although I think I'm now comfortable that both of these are looped cells, does it go that way or does it go that way is the question I'm now wrestling with. I don't think I know the answer to that. How do we do this then? How do we work it out? And do we have to think about row 5, which I'm terrified of? Although row 5 is going to work like a whisper, so maybe that's going to be easier, because the digits need to be 5 apart if they're on the loop. So, actually, is it true? This I think is a valid deduction. Surely this 8 has to have a vertical slice, because we're not going straight across there. We could do, actually, by dint of the rules, but we would create a small loop that didn't include this cell, so that's not right. So I think we do go there on the loop. This is therefore a loop cell, and it's got to be 6 different from 8, and it can't be 1. So that is a 2. So one of these is a 2 by Sudoku. But which way does it go? Does it go that way? If it went that way and this goes upwards, this cell would need to be 6 different, at least, from 1. So this would be 7 or 9. And then the next digit would have to be, well, this would have to be 9 going into 4 or 3, I think, by whisper logic. But if we went the other way, if this goes straight up here, this could be 8. And oh dear, I don't know how we're going to resolve this. It feels very unclear to me. Maybe I've got to think about these digits then. In fact, that... hang on. No, I'm wrong. Well, I'm not quite wrong. One of these is a 3. And it's going to have a 9 above it, isn't it? That must be true. Imagine this was a 3. Then this digit... Oh no, it could have a... Yeah, if this is a 3, the digit above it needs to be 6 different from it. So it is monogamous with 9 in vertical language. And because one of these is a 3, and we know there's a staple, there is a 9 in one of those squares. So these squares are not 9. These are now 6, 7, or 8. But, of course. Oh, this is it. Right. Okay. Gosh, this is a clever puzzle. I feel like saying Eureka. Right. What we worked out is that there's a staple. And the staple either goes here or it goes here. But the bottom of the staple is a 3-9 pair. But I've just worked out that above the 3 you have the digit 9. So if I put the staple there, I get 2 9s in box 6. Because if this was the 3, I get the 9 here and the 9 here. And if this was the 3, I get a 9 here and a 9 here. So this can't be the staple. This is the staple. So this is a 3 or a 9. This is not. This is not. This is a 3-9 pair. This is green. These are both green. Right, we can't take any more wall. Don't know about that square, so better be careful. Don't we're going to at some point have to consider this row, but let's hold off for as long as we can. What about Sudoku? Can I do Sudoku 4, 5 and 6 into these squares? No is the answer. Okay, so the 9 in one of these squares is going to go up to a low digit, which can't be a 2, so it's going to be a 1 or a 3. So these squares are from 1, 3 and 9. That's very annoying. Oh dear, I don't know what to do. Okay, do I know? Yeah, this can't be a 9, can it? Because I know in each of these vertical dominoes there is a 9, definitely. So this is not a 9. Okay, so did I get any... Oh, hang on. No, is there some way we can force a bigger digit? Now, if this goes up, this is an 8, isn't it? That would make this a 6, 7 pair. But if this goes up, this can't be 9 anymore. This would have to be... Golly, this is tricky, but doesn't work. Right, I'm feeling better now because I think I've now deduced how this joins up. I don't think this goes up, but I might be wrong. But let's think about it. So we know it's going up from a 1 into a digit that's at least 6 different from it. That isn't 8. So it's 7 or 9, but it's not 9 by Sudoku. So it is 7. Okay, so we'd be in this situation right like this. And we can't join this loop up because then this wouldn't be part of the loop. So we have to go vertical. Now, the rules that apply to this digit are a bit different because this digit needs to be only 5 different from 7. But it needs to be 1 or 2, therefore. And it can't be, by whisper logic. So this is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. What instead we have to do is go the other way. We've got to move this into here. This goes up, so this square becomes green. I very much doubt that that can be green, but we'll check that in a minute. This digit is 6 different at least from 2, so it is 8 on the basis it can't be 9. These squares are a 6-7 pair, so how could this be on the loop? It would be a digit that's 5 different from 2, so it would be a high digit. It would be 7, 8 or 9, and none of those are available, so that's definitely not correct. We can't close the loop, so we go up, we get more. How did you come up with this nonsense, Michael? It is absolutely bonkers. What's that digit? That's got to be 5 different at least from 8. It's 3 because it can't be 1 or 2. So that's 3, that's 9, that's 3, that's 9 by logic of what we did before. This is a 1. It can't be 3 or 9 now. This has to extend up because that's the only place that seems to be able to go. This digit is now 6, I think. What else could this be? It's got to be at least 5 different from 1. So it's a high number. It's not 7, 8 or 9. That's 6. What are these squares? 4 and 5? But we're looking at differences of 4 in this row. That's too close. So the loop definitely doesn't go that way. And, okay, yes, this square here is out of bounds because 3 and 6 are too close to 4 or 5. Now, oh no, that's fine. This digit. No, oh, golly, yes, this is lovely. This digit is not on the loop because it would be a digit that's 5 different at least from 9. So and now it would be 4 because it can't be 1, 2 or 3. But 4 is monogamous on Tremor Whispers. So as it extended, it would need another 9. And that won't work. So this is grey. The loop goes up here. This square is on the loop. That can't close. So the loop goes up to row 3. We can think about the differences in various positions now. I mean, there is a whole heap of stuff going on now. Right, let's work on this digit first. This digit is 5 different, so it's low. It's 1, 2. Oh, that's not very good at all. It's 1, 2, or 4, I think. I mean, if that's 4, and then we go up again, this digit would have to be 4 different, so that could be an 8. Because the whisper changes nature by the time we're comparing this. So although you couldn't put the 4 there because this digit would have been 5 away, you can perhaps put the 4 here. I mean, actually, it could even go there and be an 8. Oh, goodness. Okay, sorry. Oh, this is a 3 by Sudoku, I've just noticed. This is a 4 or 5 by Sudoku. I've got a 4, 5, 6 triple here. That's not 4 anymore. In fact, if that's a 4, 5, 6 triple, that's a 7, isn't it? So that's 7, that's 6. This is not 6 anymore. These squares are 1, 2, and 8. I don't think that's what I wanted those to be. This square is 4 different from 6. So it's 2. That's very, very strange. It can't be 1. And if we go high, we get to 10 or higher. So that doesn't work. Right. Now the extension of this definitely goes there. Oh, you know what I've not thought about either? What on earth is going on in row 4, which has no gold in it? Ah, I've only got 1 high digit. I can get another one here. This is... oh dear, I don't think I've got enough room. Hang on. In row 4, any walled digit that was 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 would be gold. So all of 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 are loop. So 8 is over here. 8 is, one of these is loop. If this was 8, then the loop would turn. If this is 8, it doesn't need to. But that 8, but also 5, 7 and 9. Well, what's this? Maybe that's a better place to start. This digit is 5 different from 2 and is not 8 or 9, so that is 7. But there must be a 9 here, and that's on the loop. But if this was, okay, this is the way to do it. If this was 5, it couldn't be on the loop, because it's sort of cul-de-sac, isn't it? We've labelled it as wall, and it's not golden. So that's a 4, that's a 5. These squares are 5 and 9, and both are on the loop. 5 and 9, not 5 and 8. They're both on the loop because they're both not gold. So this is a corner of the loop. The loop must do this sort of thing. I don't think... no, I'm wrong. Am I wrong? No, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. My first instinct was correct. 5 and 9, that's fine. They are 4 apart, and that's necessary in row 4. But 7 is definitely not 4 apart from 5 or 9. So I can't join the 7 with this one. So that's got to do that. 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 All of these squares become nonsenses. This goes up here, this goes up here, that's got to close, that's got to go there. Oh, this is lovely. It's a very strange puzzle, but what is remarkable is that this is sort of doable, frankly. It's got that feeling of it's a totally miraculous puzzle. Now, what does that mean? What about that digit? Is that where we go next? We need a digit that's 4 different from 3 at least, so that is 7. This digit is 4 different from 7, so that is 3. Can't be 1 or 2. I love the fact it's still working, frankly, but then this digit only has to be 3 different from 6. It still can't go down. So it's 6, 7 or 9. No, it's not 7, it's 6 or 9. And then, but this, oh, hang on. Yeah, okay. So this is where there's a problem. If this was 9, this would be 6, but from this one's perspective, it's meant to be 4 different, and it would only be 3 different. So this is not 9, this is 5, and that is therefore 9, and that is therefore 9. And this digit is 4 different from 9 at least, so it is 5 or lower. So it is 1 or 5, I think. Seems correct, doesn't it? And in this column, oh, maybe I've got to do the dots. I've got 4, 5 and 6 to place. I don't think this can be 4, because if this was 4, this would either be 5 or 3, and neither is available. So this is 5 or 6. If this is 6, this is 7, 8. That doesn't work. So this is 5. Can't go 5, 4, 3. Oh no, it could. Bobbins. Okay, let's. We don't know. So this is 4, 6. This is 3, 7. But these squares at the top of the grid are a 4, 6 pair. Doesn't resolve that one. 4 and 6 are, could they be on the loop? That would be a difference of 2. That would be okay, yeah. That would be okay. It would be okay from this one's perspective, which needs to achieve, anything in row 2 needs to achieve a difference of 2. So how are we going to resolve what's going on at the top? We've also got to bear in mind that wherever the 8 is here, it has to be on the loop. there's also absolutely no... Oh, hang on, what's that? What does that mean? There's absolutely no gold. Oh no, oh wait a second, have I done this puzzle? I might have done this puzzle upside down. Oh goodness, hang on. Hang on. No, it must be that you must start with the massive differences. But hang on, how does row 1 work? In row 1, everything, every wall cell, everything, yeah, oh, I see. Every wall cell, apart from 1 itself, because it's in row 1, would be golden. So that is a 1 in the corner. That does resolve this. But now, every other digit would, if wall, be golden, and nothing else is given as golden apart from these two. So everything else is loop, isn't it? Oh dear. Okay, which explains why this can be a gap. That's now a corner. This is a staple. We're going to get loads more loopage done here. And from this row's perspective, only the digits 1 and 2. So there's got to be at least 7 cells of green, because only 1 and 2 could possibly be in this row and in wall cells that were not golden. Well, okay. Well, one thing I can do here is I could draw that in. There's no way that joins with this, because, I mean, this is just standard loop logic. If you look now in this area of the grid, I have 3 loop ends. That's not possible, because I can join 2 of them together, but I will then strand 1 loop end, and that will therefore not allow me to create a loop. So that must go there. And then... yeah, so what in fact is going to happen here is I've got 3 loop ends that are definitely sort of in this part of the grid. So I need a 4th loop end. Well, what I can't do is to turn that one into that area, because then, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to create a loop in the top right and a loop in the top in the left of the grid. So I'm going to have 2 different loops. So the idea is not that. The idea is to have 1 loop, isn't it? So what I need to do is to move this one this way and this one this way, and that gives me 2 more green cells. Let's get rid of those circles so we can actually see what's going on. Golly. The only digit in this row that could be off the loop is 1. One is in one of those squares by Sudoku, of all things. These squares are 4, 5. Oh, nearly. These are 4, 5 and 6. That's 4 or 6. There's a 4, 6 pair in the bottom row. Okay, and these digits just have to be different. They're in the same row, and the rule as it applies to digits in row 1 is that they have to have a difference of at least 1. So that doesn't matter at all. There's literally no constraint across from as we look along row 1 digits on the loop. Okay, so maybe I've got to think about this square. So this square is 3 different at least from 5. So if we go upwards, we're getting to 8, aren't we? And if we go downwards, we're getting to 2. So this is 2 or 8. And in fact, I've just seen by Sudoku, we know what it is. It's 8. Oh dear, I should have got that straight away, shouldn't I? Okay, but then these squares are 2 and 7. And that is useful, because I can't put 7 next to 8 in row 2. It would be only 1 apart. So it goes 2, 7... Don't know if that does anything. It has the feel that it might get a lot harder, this puzzle, when you know, at the top of the grid, because the differences don't have to be nearly so dramatic. How do we do this then? Not sure, frankly. I'm really not sure. Let's try. What are those digits at the bottom of column 2, 3 and 7, are they? 2, 3 and 7. So this is a 4, 6 pair. Don't think I know which way round that goes. It's possible I do, and I just don't realise it. What? Okay, let's. Oh, can that be a 1? No, that can't be a 1. It would be too close to 2. So there's a 1 here, which means there's a 1 in one of those squares. Now, we've got to be very careful actually in this box. Introducing any sort of grey cell is not going to allow the loop to close. Neither of these. They're either both. No, they can't both be grey. Because if they were both grey, this digit would be what do you call it? It would be golden. And I can't make one of them grey, because watch what happens if I try that. You can see that now this is green, so it needs to be reached, and the loop would just close. And if we try and do it the other way round, it won't work. This will close, and this will be stranded and was meant to be on the loop. So in fact, the only way of doing this is to make both of these green, which I suppose shouldn't really surprise me in row 2. Okay, so maybe this digit is what we're meant to focus on. So this digit is at least 3 difference. We're still in 3 differences, aren't we? So this is 5 or higher. So it is 6 or 8. Not bother. That's annoying, isn't it? 6 or 8. Well, it is, but it isn't. That is actually really important, because what I can't do is go from 6 to 8 to 3. Sorry, from 6 and 8 to 7. They would only be 1 apart, and we're still in a 3 difference within the row. So we have to nip up here. That's forced. We can't close the loop at the top, so this is all forced. This is great. This is great. So now that digit has to be 3 different from 7. That has to be 4. So that's 6, that's 6, that's 4, that's 3 in the corner, that's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. That's 5, that's 4, that's 6. What does that mean? I don't know. Something here. What digits are we looking for? 3, 6, 8, 9. Let's just put them all in and see what we can do. That digit is not 6 or 8 or 9. That's the naked single 3. Okay. But 3 has to be 2 different. Oh, that's fine. And this has to be 3 different, which is fine. But 6 and 9, look at that digit. So that is 8, that's 6, and that's 9. It all just gets resolved. So, what on earth do we do now? Let's label these digits up. 2, 3, and 6. That's not 3. Let's label these digits up. 5, 7, 9. Now, that's not 9. That's not 7. And then these digits are, let's actually make sure that we understand, 1, 4, and 8. And okay, now we know that there's an 8 here in one of these squares that is on the loop. In this row, the only digits that couldn't be on the loop would be 1 now, because 4 and 8 are higher than 3, which is the row number. Therefore, if they weren't on the loop, they would be golden, and they're not. So 2 of these digits at least need to be on the loop. Which might matter, I don't know. And the difference, so if this was on the loop, this would definitely be a 4 or an 8. And that digit would have to be 3 different. Oh, I don't know. Oh, hang on. One thing I've just noticed is that has to get out. So we can do another green cell here, which has to be 2 different from 5 or 9. And this has to be, see, anything goes up here. It really isn't under much pressure. This has to be 2 different from 3, so 5 or 7 is fine. And if we then go again, we could do it, yeah, it would just work, a 2 difference here. If this goes down, this is a 3 difference required, because this would be in row 3. But we could do 5 and 8, or 1 with anything. Even 4 with 7 would work. Okay, so maybe, that can't be 4. Is that going to be important? So this is 1 or 8. We don't know whether that's on the loop. Ah, we do actually. Oh, my spider's back again. Hello, spider. Look how much web you've made. You're a naughty spider. You went in my computer, and now you've gone in my microphone. Sorry, let me just remove all the cobwebs that little tiny spider has made in a very short amount of time. I could see it moving about under my nose. Okay, no, I thought I got a deduction then. I was thinking, what we know is the maximum number of grey cells in this row is 1. Now, if it was this one, if that was grey, then my loop doesn't work, because this will be green, this will close, and this is stranded. So that's definitely wrong. So this is definitely on the loop. But that doesn't help me, does it? So the loop either goes, if the loop goes down there, then it has to do sort of a full rinky dinkage, doesn't it? If it goes to here, then it has to do a proper wibble, because it has to go dud, and then this is, oh no, because it could wibble that way. No, okay, that's wrong then. But it does have to wibble about quite a lot if it takes that square. Maybe there's some Sudoku I can do, he said forlornly. Is that maybe it's not impossible actually. Let's try 2, 3, 8 down here. That definitely didn't work. 2, 3 and 8. I can get rid of 3 from the bottom digit. What's this? 4, 5, 7. That's better. That gets me a digit here. That's 7. So in the bottom row, I need 1, 2, 8, 9. No. This is not right. Okay. So there must be, what I've probably missed is some trickery around working out how this loop works. Okay, right. That's interesting. If the loop goes here, maybe that's something to think about, because what we can't do is close the loop then. Otherwise, again, we'll get 2 loops. So then that has to move. That has to move. But the interesting thing here is, remember, one of these digits is on the loop, so I can't close it here. So that actually would force full rinky dinkage. Now, I don't know whether or not that is possible from a... Oh, actually, that would have a 4 difference, wouldn't it? Because that's coming from row 4. So this would be high. That would be 8, 1. That's fine. 8 again. Oh, I'm getting confused. So some low, high, low, high. No, that's it. That doesn't work. Whoa. Okay, so it's sort of whispered. It's whispered on a full rinky-dinkage. This is where it breaks. Good grief. Right. So what you have to do, it's quite difficult this, but what we've got to note is that if the loop goes into this square, we get full oscillation. And we have to be able to achieve sort of low highness across these gaps, because each of these gaps, remember, because each of these gaps does hit a cell in row 4, we have to achieve 4 differences. And if we look at the options available, because we don't have the option of a sort of 5 and 9 available, that actually requires full German whisperage. We need to go high, low, high, low, high, low. And we can't. We run out. We run out of high digits in this row. We only have 8 available. But because this is low, we need 2 high digits. So we're going to go low, high, i.e. 8. Low. This is high. This will be 8, but that's not where the problem's going to be. This needs to be low. So this needs to be high again, not 4, because 4 and 1 are the furthest apart we could get. And 4 and 1 are only 3 apart. They need to be at least 4 apart. So we need a second 8 here. It doesn't work. So what that tells us is that we don't go into this square. Well, at least we don't go from here. So this might not still solve it, but it does. Well, actually, it might help, because now this is a difference of 4 at least. So this is definitely high, and that's giving me an 8 here and a 1 here, which is better than I was expecting. Now, is that all I get for that? That's now not a 1. That is the 8 as well, which was the digit that we did need to find. So now we could go upwards, couldn't we? Oh, this is still tricky. Have I missed something here? Oh no, okay, so this digit is 4 or 8, so it can't be walled in row 3, because it would be a bad digit now. It would be a gold digit. So that is definitely green. That means the loop goes here, here, can't close there, so it goes there, there, there. That's the loop. We've done the loop. We've done the loop. We didn't get full rinky-dinkage. We got a bit of rinky-dinkage. Now, sure, no, what I was about to say is nonsense. No, right. This looks interesting, because this is exactly the point we were looking at here. This is from a 1 or a 2 with a difference of 4. So this can't be 4. This has to be 8. That has to be 4. This has a difference of 3, so that has to be 5. That's 7. That's 9. Well, that's still good. That is still better than we were doing. This has a difference of 2, so that can't be a 6 in the corner. Then then we had difference of anything, so that doesn't work. We could get another 3 in the corner. This 5 means I get a 5 here and a 6 here. Oh, I see. Right. Where is 9 in the bottom row? It's in the corner. It feels like I should be revealing fog, doesn't it? But I was thinking that was going to clear fog, but no, this is all just none loop. 1, 2, 1, 2, 8. So this is a 2 by Sudoku. That might do some work. No, I'm chocolate teapotted. 8, 1. Oh, that 1 is useful. 1, 2, 6. Unchocolate teapots. But I didn't get a 3 in the corner. And I've just got to hope the Sudoku finishes this off. So 5 and 8. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. 8, 5. 5, 4. Oh. Well, it's nearly great. Alright, let's try this one. 7 and 6. Yes, 6, 7. 7, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. There we go. That, I think, might be the solution to that. Is a brilliant, but gosh, how has that been over an hour? That has flown past. That's what I love about some puzzles. I've just lost that time. I've lost time. I'm amazed. I felt I was going relative. Is it correct? Yes. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. But it was no way. There's no way I was doing that for an hour. I was doing it for about, if you'd have said 30 minutes, I'd have been surprised. So time has literally gone twice as fast. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I better get off, because if some of you do want to watch the stream, there's only 25 minutes before it starts, although some of you do watch the videos on times 1.5 speed. So anyway, it might be soon. But Michael, juggler, take a bow again. That was very clever. I really liked it. I really liked the fact that the walls caused odd things to happen. And there were sort of Eureka moments, like working out that you had to have a 1 and a 9 on the loop in this row, and then working out other high digits had to go, and how the loop must move. And actually one of my favourite moments was realising that the staple couldn't be there, because it would cause this simple dot pattern to break. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.